Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your gameplay for the T-26E, a rank 1 BR 1.3 beast of a tank for the Russian ground tech tree. And the reason why I call it a beast of a tank is because of the E designation that you see here. And as you see here, I do have the regular T-26 in the Russian ground tech tree. And by the way, this is not the same as the Swedish T-26 or the Finnish T-26, as you can see here. Rather, the one that I will be playing today has a buttload more armor. How much more armor? About 30 millimeters, or around 3 times as much armor as a standard T-26. That's right. This thing has armor basically stapled on, over 2 tons extra armor, so this is 12 tons total, 9.8 tons here. Over 2 tons of extra armor just kind of put right there, all along the various edges of this vehicle, and it is just absolutely absurd how much armor this has. Now, albeit it does still have some pretty big weak spots. Right here is a big weak spot. If you can manage to actually get this, it's a pretty decent weak spot, the upper glacis, but still a tremendous amount more armor, which more or less transforms this into a 1.3 BR KV-1, for all intents and purposes. Very, very interesting, and it costs around $13 on the marketplace currently, which is, for a BR 1.3 tank is pretty decent. That's a pretty good, high price. So that said, let's get into the gameplay here. Let's get into a few matches. I want to see how well we can do with this, and I won't be playing like 4 matches or something because I really don't like playing low BR matches because of cough seal clubbing. But if in order to bring this tank to light, I really want to play it. I mean, 45 millimeters of armor all around on a light tank, hell yeah. That said, let's get into it. So immediately, one of the biggest downsides of this vehicle that I'm noticing is the fact that it has absolutely terrible, just terrible power to weight ratio, to the point where people can traverse 2 times the distance that I can in the same period of time. And also the top speed isn't good. It's 30 kilometers per hour, but at least you could reach that quicker and more easily with the standard T-26 being that way 2 tons more than 2 tons less actually. So that said, we got some people over here. This guy's still out. He's the only one who knows I'm actually over here right now. So if you ever see me looking at a score counter mid-match, it's so that I can see if the person that I killed is already respawned, because if he is, or he or she, then that could mean that they are on their way over to me. Because especially in lower BRs, really any BR, people love revenge killing, and I do not want to be caught by surprise. So okay, that guy rage quit. Perfect. So as much as I hate to say and or do this, I might have to kind of sit here for a little bit while I take... Ooh, finally, my first hit against the armor. And my second hit, not as successful. This guy is wedged in a real good spot there. French vehicles have some real good armor, so I'm going to keep firing on this guy. But we are pretty much crushing these people right now. So it's kind of difficult to say whether... Ooh, that was bad. Nice. Okay, we have this, but the armor seems to be holding up pretty damn well versus these guys. And I'm able to return fire equally well. I'm just genuinely impressed thus far with this, at least in a live fire scenario. Now, again, I don't like sitting here, but if you guys see exactly where our team is, we're crushing these guys. There's not really all too much I can do aside from kind of sit here. I'm not spawn camping, but more or less kind of sitting, around 30% out into the map from where their spawn is. So after, give or take, around the C point, not so much I can do aside from that, unfortunately. And I know, of course, it appears as though it's like, oh, well, Tankenstein, spawn camping. Not really. There's only so much one can do. So I'll try to fire again. Nice, got the kill. Sweet. I'm gonna try to cross the bridge. Ooh, there's an enemy. I wonder if he can kill me. Nope. Now, thus far, I mean, I'll say this. This has held up pretty decently to taking hits. Not amazingly, I have taken some damage. And, of course, there is that huge weak spot right up front that exists. Again, like, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Where was I hit from? Looked like I was hit somewhere directly. Nope. Okay, I see him. I see you. I see you. Time to start repairing. Nice! This armor's actually doing quite well. I mean, I think what's happening here is that the shots that do go through, they're just not really doing all that much once they get through. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these are AP shots, which, again, correct me if I'm wrong on this. Wow, 9 kills. That's not bad. But correct me if I'm wrong on this, but AP shots, they kind of... Do they lose their post-pen damage if they're just kind of barely getting through? Because I would like to know that. That's something I totally forgot about in, you know, War Thunder. So let me know if that's the case. I don't think it's the case. Kind of, it's once you get through, you're golden sort of situation, I believe is how it is. But just let me know, because my brain is giving me a bunch of farts right now. But I'm assuming this is pretty much the end of the gameplay. Again, not a huge fan of kind of doing this, but what else can we do? You know, I mean, their team got crushed, and by the time I was even over here, the team was already dead pretty much. So let's get into another match, see what we could do. But 9 kills, 0 deaths, not even a crew member dead, but of course, pretty mortally injured. They're not going to survive long after this battle. Not a bad match. Not a bad match, and I think a lot of it had to do with the armor. So, let's get into it. Okay, there's no one on the C point. I'm going to run off of it. All I want to do is decap it. On their part, I feel like someone's going to be over here. See those tracks right there? Probably the case. Yes, it is. Got him. And... Okay, shot that engine. Can't move now. Create an artificial traffic jam, buddy. Woo! Yeah! That's how we do. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Okay, I'm getting a little zesty here. Okay. Got the kill, finally. Now that was good. Oh, we have an enemy. More importantly, got him. Kind of. Got nothing else. Got the kill. Nice. He was hanging out in the back. So, one thing that I'm noticing with this vehicle is that while it does obviously have some pretty good armor for a light tank, and really plays kind of more like a medium in many regards due to the armor and the increased weight, it's really, I don't know if it means anything at all to it, you know? It just doesn't feel like it matters. Ooh, let's see. Can I? Got it. Nice. It just doesn't feel like it matters all too much, to be honest with you. Because whereas I've got 45 millimeters all around, I mean, it's not really all around. There's that huge weak spot. The upper glacis still only has like 7 millimeters of armor, which is obviously just terrible. You could spit on that, like, and it would be destroyed. But what would happen is that a lot of people are either hitting that weak spot, or they have just enough armor, or they're Swedish or armor pen rather, or they're Swedish, and they can just shoot right through it, which is a common occurrence nowadays, where armor really doesn't matter all that much. I'm gonna no-scope it. Perfect. Ugh, God, I said no-scope. Oh, that's ugly. I did not mean to say that, but this vehicle, you know, I'll tell you guys, and as much as I, like, genuinely, I hate to say it. Oh, that looks like an enemy. It's totally an enemy. Right? Unless I'm crazy. Oh, no, that's an enemy, all right. So, unless I'm, like, a little bit off here, You know, I spent like $12.70 something, and I really, really don't want to have to say this, but this vehicle has thus far been, like, I'm not upset that I spent $12.70 something on this, and whoever, you know, just recently saw a sale for their T-26E, that was me. You got my money. But, you know, this vehicle, it just, I don't know. It just feels like you took the T-26, added some weight to it, and it just doesn't really feel like it does all that much insofar. Okay, this might be an instance where it actually helped me a little bit. That might be the only instance. Like, look at all those shots that stopped. That was the only instance in the entire time I've been playing this for hours, literally, tonight, trying to get some decent gameplay footage. And the main thing is that it's not even that it faces necessarily tougher vehicles than the regular T-26. It's mostly that this thing is slower. I mean, it's got a 20+% power to weight ratio difference compared to the lower level T-26, despite having the same everything else, except of course the armor. But when the armor doesn't really stop anyone, aside from the occasional machine gun or the machine gun based AA, what does it matter? You know, I mean, like, is that an enemy? In that case, it's like 20 millimeters of armor may as well be the same as 50 millimeters of armor. Or, like, for a better comparison, like, what does it matter how much armor you have, like 150 versus 225, when somebody can get through that with no problem regardless of whichever one they have, because they have AP FSDS or something? Like, what does it matter in that case? You know? I mean, if you can still be penned, it doesn't matter if you have an extra 30 millimeters of armor. And that's what I've been really finding out here. It just feels like dead weight. And in some instances, it is invaluable, and I would have died right there without that. And I'm sure that it's also limited some post-pen damage in some way, shape, or form. But for the most part, it just, I don't know, hasn't really felt incredibly useful. In theory, this should act like a mini KV-1. And I think it would. I think it will. I just don't think that I've played it entirely correctly. I'm not sure why I think that. Maybe I'm just hopeful to think that maybe I didn't completely waste my money. And, you know, I'm a collector, so there you go. Let's see where this got. I was about to fire, too. Yep, right through the bulk of the armor, through the 45 millimeters. But, like I said, do I think that this was a waste of money? No, I don't. But I'm almost convinced that maybe I have to play it like a tiger, just angle it. I'm not really sure. This vehicle feels like it should be a lot better than it is. But again, what's the point of 45 millimeters of armor when you'll be penned all the same as somebody with 15 millimeters of armor, except the guy with the 15 millimeters of armor weighs probably around 4,500 pounds less. I'm not sure. But either way, thank you so much for watching. Please, of course, like, comment, subscribe. I want to hear your opinions on this vehicle, this video, and everything else. I'm always interested. But thank you guys so much. And, well, take care, everyone. See you all on the other side.